Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. Today we are doing another Valentine's suggestion since we are still in the month of February, and we are doing the 2017 romantic fantasy, The Shape of Water. As for the trivia question for today, what are the names of the two films that are advertised on the Orpheum Theater marquee? The answer will be at the end of this video. In this film, our main character is Eliza. She is played by Sally Hawkins, and Eliza is a mute who works as part of the janitorial staff at a secret government facility. One day, a character named Agent Strickland, played by Michael Shannon, brings in an interesting creature he has discovered in the Amazon. Eliza seems to find this creature instantly fascinating, and my only real issue with this movie is just how quickly it seems that she wants to bang a fish man. Like, it's almost immediately. Now, aside from everything that's going on at the government facility, some of the movie also takes place in Eliza and her neighbor Giles's apartments, which reside above the Orpheum Theater. This movie really does feel like a continuation or sequel to The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which Guillermo del Toro has even mentioned was his inspiration for the film. While del Toro was writing the script for this movie, he actually had most of the actors in mind, including Sally Hawkins, Michael Shannon, and Octavia Spencer. In fact, the only character that wasn't played by the actor that del Toro planned it for was Giles. He originally wrote that for Sir Ian McKellen. However, I do think Richard Jenkins did an amazing job as Giles. Something that is really fascinating with this movie is that all the protagonists are characters that normally would have been oppressed or treated poorly in this time, including a mute, a black woman, a closeted gay man, a foreigner, and a supposed monster. Along with love and acceptance being big themes in this movie, the color green was also another theme. You saw it in the pies, the gelatin, the candy that Strickland ate, the outfits that the janitorial staff had, even the car that Strickland drove around, and you can see it in many other items and background shots. Del Toro originally planned for the movie to be in black and white. I'm really glad he decided against it though, as so much of the cinematography is beautiful and wonderful to look at throughout the film. He did, however, keep one scene in black and white. This was the dance fantasy sequence, which is actually an homage to the film Follow the Fleet, which stars Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire. If you'll notice, the background, set, and even the piece in the middle are an exact replica of that scene. Since Sally Hawkins was playing a mute in the film, Del Toro gave her a set of DVDs to help her work on expressing herself. These DVDs included stuff from Charlie Chaplin, Laurel and Hardy, Buster Keaton, and even Audrey Hepburn. Also in relation to Sally Hawkins, this is not her first movie she was in where a bathroom flooded up with water. It also did so in the movie Paddington. And speaking of Paddington, there was actually a day on set for The Shape of Water where Sally dealt with a very hard underwater scene. She then went to go do a day of production at Paddington 2, and it turns out that was also a day where she dealt with a fully underwater scene. Another actor we can't forget to talk about when referring to this film is Doug Jones. He's played many characters in all sorts of different monster makeup. And in doing so for this movie, he spent 3 hours in the makeup chair. Del Toro has also stated that even though there are similarities between this creature and Abe Sapien from Hellboy, there is no connection between the two movies. All the scenes that were done inside the movie theater were filmed at the Elgin Theater in Toronto. What's interesting about this is the first showing of the film The Shape of Water was actually in the Elgin Theater. So if you were in the audience, you got to see your theater on the screen at the same time that you were watching. The Shape of Water is a really wonderful movie. The acting, the story, and the cinematography are all amazing. There are definitely some moments which feel like a hentai sex scene, but it's still a really great movie. I recommend checking out. I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 5. Now, as for the trivia question from the beginning of the video, what are the names of the two films that are advertised on the Orpheum Theater marquee? Those films are The Story of Ruth and Mardi Gras, which were both owned by 20th Century Fox, and why they're able to show up in this film. If you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews, and if you'd like to see a movie get reviewed here, please leave your suggestion in the comments. Otherwise, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe.